Hey maniacs, it is Henya, and I'm just gonna close the window real quick. Today I have a super exciting video for you guys, and I am going to share with you 11 benefits that I have experienced since going vegan 11 years ago. Mind blown, I know. Yes, my friends, I have been vegan for over a decade, which is quite a long time to be anything for, especially vegan. So I'm going to share with you my experience with going vegan and all that stuff. So if you guys are ready, let's get this video started.
It's the henyamania.
I have a disclaimer to make. I didn't go vegan and like change my eye color or like became a completely new different person. I know a lot of people make videos about how they went vegan and how like they became Wolverine basically. I don't know, with their nails like growing and their hair becoming like super strong and whatnot. I went vegan when I was 17. To be honest, it's been a very long time since then. It was right after I quit drinking. I became vegan first for health reasons, but I stayed vegan for the animals, and during these whole 11 years I have been through ups and downs with my mental health and my actual physical health. A lot of you have been following me for a while and know that I've been struggling with chronic disease and stuff like that, which is pretty fucking shitty, that I caused myself to suffer from after abusing myself with eating disorders for years. So there's a lot of things to take with a grain of salt in today's video, and without further ado, let's do this. So the first benefit I experienced when I first went vegan a very long time ago was that I became super motivated. I was doing my absolute best to get my life back on track. As I've mentioned, I have just quit drinking alcohol, and by the time I went vegan, I just decided I want to go to therapy. I went to like this daycare facility for about a year, and I have to admit I did feel like a lot better by the end of it, but it really felt like this new energy that I was like, oh my god, I'm loving life and I'm really excited to like get myself together and like do things and be productive and like take care of myself and really like get to the bottom of all my issues, and I did. Yeah, and that was really awesome. I started feeling so much better, and I started to take my life much more seriously, and that was absolutely amazing. I felt so good. I felt like I was on top of the world. I felt like I could do anything I wanted, and that was just an amazing feeling. And if I remember correctly, it lasted for a very long time. And on to the second benefit. I lost quite a bit of weight. As I mentioned, I was drinking back at the time, and that was all I did pretty much. And I didn't get just like your average beer belly. I was just, yeah, I couldn't even like recognize myself. I mean, once I finally noticed that I was having some issues, because I was just like so oblivious. I was just like drinking and drinking and drinking. But so I've gained a bit of weight in that time, and when I went vegan, I started losing that weight like super quick. I felt like my whole body was just like loving every second of it. And I think if you exclude all those times that I gained a bunch of weight due to eating disorders and lost a bunch of weight due to eating disorders, I feel like overall my weight was just very consistent and just healthy. And even if I ate like for a while a bit more than I probably should have, my body was just kind of regulating itself better than it used to. So that was a huge plus for me. And the third benefit I felt when I started to go vegan was that I actually found a community of people that I could interact with. It first started off online. There was this like vegan forum in Israel that I actually met my best friend there. Fun fact. And I learned a lot about veganism, and that's actually where I first heard about this demo that was going on in my city, and I was like, oh my god, maybe I should go. And I went and I met some amazing people. I'm still friends with some of those people till this day. It just felt so good to be doing something for such a good cause, and I felt like I could connect with these people so much better. And even nowadays, like, I mean, some of the YouTube vegan community is pretty fucking shit, but a lot of people are actually amazing. And to be honest, I think all of my friends are vegan, and those who have been like just vegetarian have turned vegan. It's just something that I feel like a lot of people are resonating with lately. So finding your own community is just gonna get better and better and easier. So I would highly recommend looking up people who kind of are interested in the same thing as you are, and definitely put yourself out there. Have an Instagram or a YouTube account, or go to demos and stuff like that. Meet people and be active. I think that's super important. The fourth benefit is something I haven't talked about much, but before I went vegan, I've had some health issues. I've had migraines as a young girl for a long time. I was really struggling with that. The pain was just absolutely unbearable, and like doctors couldn't like figure out what my problem was. I've also had this really annoying back pain that I felt like completely cured itself when I went vegan. Another thing I noticed is that my IBS back then just vanished like out of the blue. It was amazing. When I cut out dairy, I was just like a new person. I didn't have any more gas, I didn't have stomach ache, I didn't have like crazy diarrhea all of a sudden. My body was just feeling so much happier. In regards to the migraines and IBS, I've definitely had another relapse. With the migraines, it happened when I went off the pill, which is a disaster. Like, don't take the pill, don't fucking do it to yourself. Like, it's the worst. But I had to get off of it because it was giving me like blood clots, and it was like fucking up my migraines all over again. And I've had this like really bad pain that was already in the time that I was vegan for several years, and it happened just because I stopped taking hormones. My IBS flared up when I started going raw till 4, which is a whole different story. Like, I'm not gonna talk about it now, but again, it's not because of veganism, it's because of a crazy diet that I was doing. So I definitely feel safe to say that veganism has really helped my IBS and my migraines. And on to number 5, I felt such a sense of purpose when I went vegan. It happened when I started reading about what animals are going through. Back then I was just like way too sensitive to even watch any videos from like slaughterhouses and stuff like that. And I read up what animals are going through to get into our plates, and I was just, how is this not known? How are people not talking about this? How does the country let this happen? Like, how is this happening? How are people like not knowing about this? So I felt like I had to tell everyone in my life. So many of my friends have cut me off from like the social circle because I was just all about that. Like, I just felt like I have to let these people know, because I didn't know. I had no idea, and once I did, I stopped. It continued on when I started going to demos and started being an activist. I've done so much activism back then. Like, it was literally all I was doing, which really helped with my depression, because I finally felt like, okay, maybe life's a fucking bitch, but there's a reason for me being here, or at least I can put this meaning onto the meaningless life that I was leading, so I can do stuff that are good for others. And it's been 11 years since then, and I still feel this tremendous sense of purpose, like I can finally do something with my existence to help others. And this is the whole reason why I have this YouTube channel and my Instagram, and why I'm like trying to influence you guys and trying to educate you guys on this topic, because I just feel like this is so important. Obviously, a lot of struggles in today's world are important, but if you think about it, the animals cannot speak for themselves. We are the only ones that can speak for them. The 6th benefit to going vegan was that I finally learned how to cook. I mean, up until then I had like no reason to cook for myself, because my mom was cooking for the whole family and I was eating that food. And when I first went vegan, my mom was really not liking it, and she didn't speak to me for a while, and I was like, okay, if I want to feed myself, I should learn how to prepare food. And you know, I started like buying food and making food. I was making like matcha cookies, and I was making like sushi rolls and dumplings and lasagnas and things that I never even tried before. I just had this tremendous passion to try new things and make new food and just create. I was just loving it. And ever since then, I even wrote 2 recipe books that you can check out if you're interested. The links are in the description down below. The 7th benefit of going vegan, I found the definition of an ecological footprint. How fast we consume resources and generate waste compared to how fast nature can absorb our waste and generate new resources. Factory farming is by far one of the biggest contributors to the destruction of our resources. It uses up incredible amounts of land, water, and energy that if we have actually used those resources to feed hungry people in specific continents, we could feed everyone and more. Also, factory farming is contributing more to global warming than all forms of transportation combined, cars, ships, and airplanes. And that happens because of cow shit. To anyone who's interested to learn more about this, I highly recommend you guys watch Cowspiracy. And it's on Netflix. Oh. And benefit number 8, I have drastically reduced the risk of getting ill from heart disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes, strokes, even certain types of cancer. And to be honest, the first reason why I even thought about going vegan is because I am so terrified of cancer. And for those of you who are interested in more information about this, I highly recommend you watch What the Health. It's on Netflix too, baby. Benefit number 9 is that I have finally stopped having such terrible periods as I used to have. I could not function during my period. I would just die in my bed for days on end and suffer and feel miserable for my life, and the pain was just so bad in my stomach and in my back, and it was really like even hard to breathe because it was so bad. My periods have improved so much since going vegan, and also my PMS is not as terrible as it used to be from before I went vegan. However, several years ago I had something in my uterus that kind of fucked everything up again, so my PMS and my period is kind of shitty right now, but it is so much better than it used to be from before I went vegan. And the 10th benefit is that I feel like, due to the fact that I can't just eat anything I want, or I can't just go to any restaurant when I travel the world and like just get fed, veganism kind of dictates, you know, the way I travel and the way I live life and the way I like eat out or go buy stuff, like, which makes things so much easier. Like if you're traveling somewhere, like how would you know which restaurant to go have dinner in? Like you would have so many options, and when you're vegan you just have like these X amount of restaurants you can go to, and I can look at the photos on Happy Cow and be like, yes, I want to go to this one, and then I go and I eat and everything's fine. It's just that if I would travel and if I weren't vegan, like I would just have so many restaurants that there would be like absolutely no way to decide which one I want to go to or which one is the best for what I'm looking for. I also get super excited when new vegan products are coming out. When the vegan Ben & Jerry's came out in Israel, I was just like yes, I was looking for it everywhere. And it wasn't just me, it was like all the vegans in Israel were just like buying everything. Some even went to the factory to buy it, so like we were just deprived for days because it was sold out for so long. It was just amazing. And the 11th benefit of going vegan is by far the most important one for me, and that is living by my moral code. I personally don't believe animals should be caged, tortured, raped, and murdered for us to eat their secretions and bodies. Like I honestly find it so strange, especially since it's so unhealthy for us and it's so detrimental to our environment. Like why would anyone do that? Like I literally cannot fathom, like, why would people do that? And I just love the fact that by excluding a few things from my menu, I can just impact so many other lives. Going vegan can save anywhere between 4,000 to 8,000 animals. And I have to ask you one question. If right now just outside your window there was a dog crying because someone was hurting him with a stick, would you not do anything in your power to stop that person from hitting the dog? Well, by going vegan you have this amazing opportunity to not only stop the suffering of so many animals, but actually stop them from being killed unnecessarily, and you can also help our planet and your health. Like what's better than that? Honestly, going vegan was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. I cannot be more grateful to myself 11 years ago for going vegan. I highly recommend you guys to check out this lifestyle and try it for yourself. There's so many vegan options nowadays. It is not only super easy to go vegan, it's also fun and healthy and super important for the survival of the species and this earth. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video today. If you did, make sure you press that thumbs up button, comment on it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Also check out my ebooks, my Patreon, and my t-shirt shop. Follow me on Snapchat and on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you guys. Mwah! Bye.